So let's talk for a second about what we expect the final product to look like. There should be three main characteristics. First, the topping should be evenly distributed from top to bottom in your concrete. All right? Second, the custard should remain firm. The more you blend it, the softer it's going to get. So we want it to be firm. The third thing is that you don't want to lose the vanilla. For instance, if you're making a strawberry concrete, your final product should be vanilla with strawberry mixed in, not strawberry custard. If you overblend it and lose the vanilla, you end up with strawberry custard. It's not what we want. So let's talk for a second about the blending paradox. First, the longer you blend it, the better the distribution of the topping, which is a good thing. But the longer you blend it, the softer the custard's going to get, which is a bad thing. So our objective when we're blending is to be able to blend it thoroughly with the least amount of blending as possible. And that is why these pre-blending steps are so important. The very first step is you want to make sure when you put the scoops in the cup, you lay everything to one side. The second step has to do with that is after you scoop it, you want to give it a firm tap. That's going to further push the scoops to one side of the cup. Okay, so the first step, scoop to the side of the cup. The second step, the firm tap to enlarge that gap between the side of the cup and the custard. The third step, now that you've got the scoops in the right place, is get the topping in the right way. Now what you want to do, and this is step 3, is you want the topping to cascade down the custard in your cup. And so you want to pour it on the top scoop and let it flow towards the bottom of the cup. Now step 3B, or the fourth step if it applies, is that when you have more than one topping, you want to make sure you put the right topping in at the right time. There's an order. And the order for which you use to decide which topping goes in when is you want to classify or evaluate each topping on a scale. Now on one side of the scale is going to be what we call the crevice finders. And on the other side of the scale is what we call the crevice blockers. So when you have 2 or more toppings, you want to put the crevice finders in before you put in the crevice blockers. For instance, if you were doing a hot fudge brownie concrete, you would put the hot fudge in first, the fudge will find its way in the crevices, and then you'll put your brownie in next. That way when you blend it, you can have a nice hot fudge brownie even distribution. If you were to do it the wrong way and put the brownies in first, the brownies would block your crevice, the fudge would pool at the top of the concrete, and when you blended it, you'd have vanilla and then a hot fudge brownie soup at the top. And so you always want to put those crevice finders in before the crevice blockers when you have more than one topping. Okay, so now that we've got the scoops to the side of the cup, we've given it a firm tap, we've cascaded the toppings, we've put our crevice finders in before our crevice blockers, then we're ready to actually step to the blender and blend. But we're going to have our 5th step before we step on the pedal. That 5th step is using the blade of the blender to push toppings further to the bottom of the cup. That ensures that you have topping in the very bottom, and you should have topping remaining throughout the top of the concrete. What you want to avoid though is pushing too much of the topping to the bottom. Toppings such as brownie, it's easy to push all the brownie to the bottom and then you end up with this brownie disgusting bottom and then nothing but vanilla on the top. So push some topping to the bottom, but not all of it. Now you're finally ready to blend.